in a completely different way. He could be a Lincoln, a transformational president as much as a Lincoln,
Right.
restoring the republic and writing. People in America are excited for the first time. I've been saying for a long time, where's the moonshot? Where's the president who will point up to the sky and say, we're going there and we're going to do it, and it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it?
What's up, everyone? In this one, Glenn Beck and his guests are diving into bold territory, framing Donald Trump as a potential transformational president on par with Abraham Lincoln. It's a big claim loaded with optimism and a heavy dose of cultural critique. They argue Trump isn't just staging a political comeback, but is reshaping America's trajectory entirely. He's igniting hope, restoring the public, and challenging the status quo. Along the way, they tackle continuous issues like identity politics, the transgender sports debate, and the cultural shift in Trump's favor. But are they painting too rosy of a picture? Is this critique of the left fair or just a partisan cheerleading? Let's unpack the arguments, call out double standards, and dig into whether Trump's second term really has the potential to be that transformative. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I find
radicals.
the issue of the transgender sport issue is the one for me.
Yeah.
When I read the New York Times report that said that the Trump ad, which covered this, only 30 seconds, but it had Kamala's for they, them, Trump's for you, that had potentially moved the needle by just under 3 points, right? And was one of the most effective political ads in modern history. And it completely demolished the lie from the left that nobody cares about this issue. Everyone I've spoken to about that issue cares. And I've been on this thing for 4 years now, where I've said, if you genuinely think it's fair and equal, as you legitimately try and get equal fairness and equality for trans people, if you think that the right way to do that is to erode women's rights to fairness and equality, you are living in cloud cuckoo land. And actually, it's become one of the great dividing points where if anyone on the Democrat left now still thinks it's fine for biological men to basically wreck women's sport and endanger women, then they are now the outliers.
This argument is a cultural sledgehammer, and it resonates far beyond Trump's base. The left's blind commitment to defending every fringe issue, even at the expense of fairness for women, has alienated millions of voters. What's most striking here is how Beck frames this as common sense, a position that's now mainstream among independents and even some Democrats. But let's not pretend Trump is leading this fight out of principle alone. He's a savvy operator, and this issue gives him a winning edge because it's easy to understand and impossible for his opponents to defend without looking ridiculous. It's a master stroke, but also highlights just how far the cultural pendulum has swung.
It's no longer are we afraid now to say this. Now, as we're seeing, everyone's going, actually, you know what? We're done with that. We're done with it because it lacks basic common sense.
Here in America, what was so bizarre this weekend was we had 2 UFC fights, one in Madison Square Garden, one in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And both of them ended with kind of a Trump dance, and they were very, 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 Trump was very popular. And then with every football score, whoever made the touchdown did the Trump dance. And I realized, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, Trump and the MAGA movement is the cool one.
Yes, isn't that weird?
The left has completely lost cool.
This shift is honestly a fascinating development. For decades, the left dominated popular culture. They had Hollywood, music, and the media in their corner. Now, Trump has flipped the entire thing, turning MAGA rallies into cultural moments and even making himself a meme-worthy icon. But this isn't just about cool, it's about power. When cultural dominance shifts, so does political influence. The left's obsession with outrage culture and virtual signaling has backfired, alienating younger generations who are drawn to Trump's unapologetic style. The question is, will this cultural moment translate into lasting political change, or is it just a fleeting trend? However, I think this recent election has made that answer clear.
Yes.
Which is bizarre.
I knew how different things were. I went to the Madison Square Garden rally, the infamous one. And
the Nazi one.
The Nazi one, with literally half the audience were Jewish. And I was like, whatever.
Right.
But I went there, and it was a really interesting experience. I've never been to a rally before, and it was a very interesting experience. It was an entertaining 6 hours. But I spoke to a Secret Service agent. I said, out of interest, how many protesters turned up? They were expecting thousands. You know, Trump rally in the heart of Manhattan at the Madison Square Garden, the iconic garden. and there 150 people turned up to protest. Now, cut back to 2016, that would have been 150,000. And we've seen no protest marches since Trump won. And in fact, as you rightly say, we've seen the opposite. We've seen actually Trump becoming the big unifier. And what did he do? The great bigot chose the gay anthem of YMCA by Village People. One of the great gay musical anthems in the world.
Yeah.
He chose that to dance to.
Not a coincidence.
I mean, no, a work of genius, but also because I know Trump, he's not homophobic. He's not a bigot like that.
He's not. He's not. And, you know, I think he's finally, now that, you know, people like RFK and Tulsi and Elon are also on his side, he's going to go back to the guy he's always been. I think he was just hit in the face with a frying pan the first 4 years. I don't know if he was ready for it. I don't know if he took it seriously at the beginning. He didn't know, and he's told me this. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know where the landmines were. I didn't know. This time he's prepared to be president of the United States. But he also now he doesn't have to be on defense all the time because he's in the zeitgeist. He's the leader of
I think that's
positive
key. But you know what, Glenn?
It is.
I think that's key because in his book, The Art of the Deal, he talks about if you get punched in the face, metaphorically, he means, punch the other guy back 10 times, right? He's a natural.
This mindset is the essence of Trump's brand, and it's why so many people love him. He fights and he fights hard, but here's the thing. Constant fighting also creates constant division. Beck argues that Trump has learned from his first term and will be more strategic this time around. But can someone so deeply entrenched in combat mode ever really pivot to uniting the country? His base doesn't want him to stop punching back. That's part of the appeal. Yet if Trump wants to be remembered as more than a cultural warrior, he'll have to prove he can do more than just fight. He'll have to lead.
Pugilist. He's got that New York pugilist streak. And for the first 2-3 years of his tenure as president, all he got was being punched in the face. Russia collusion, Russia collusion, Russia collusion, blah, 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 blah. It was just endless punching. And he reacted the only way he knows, which was to punch back 10 times. And so it was a constant war of attrition. This time, because there isn't that scale of fury, there isn't that kind of behavior. And even the media are going through, you know, the very liberal dominated media going through a period of self-reflection about everything. Trump doesn't need to be the pugilist now. He can be actually the guy. He can be a transformative president.
Yeah, and he's going to be. I never, ever thought I would say anything like this. He is going to be either, I mean, if he gets this stuff done, he will be remembered at least as the FDR figure reversing everything that FDR did. But he could be so transformative that he could actually, and no offense to, I mean, I know what this means, in a completely different way. He could be a Lincoln, a transformational president as much as a Lincoln, restoring the republic. And
this Lincoln comparison is a pretty huge reach even for Trump's most ardent supporters. Lincoln held the Union together during its darkest hour, a task that required immense leadership and humility, traits Trump isn't exactly known for. But Glenn's point is clear. He believes Trump could unite Americans against what he sees as a common enemy: globalism, media manipulation, and the erosion of American values. For Trump to live up to these comparisons, though, he'll have to do more than just punch back at critiques. He'll need to deliver results that transcend party lines, and that's where the skepticism kicks in. Can he truly rise to that level, or is this just a lofty rhetoric?
People in America are excited for the first time. I've been saying for a long time, where's the moonshot? Where's the president who will point up to the sky and say, we're going there and we're going to do it, and it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it? That's what he's captivated right now in America. And Americans are starting to believe again, there is a really golden era ahead of us. And I think Europe's going to be swept up in it. I mean, if he can get these things done, you're going to have an end to, in a good way, to the tractors in London. You're going to get some of these oppressive globalist kind of restrictions out of people's faces, because they don't know it yet, I don't think, but they should.
Glenn Beck paints Trump as a political and cultural powerhouse capable of reshaping America's future. But for all the optimism, there is an underlying question. Is this transformation real or is it just hype? Trump has undeniably captured the American people. If he wants to be remembered as a modern Lincoln, he'll need to balance the fighter's instinct with a unifieder's vision, something he's yet to demonstrate. Beck's faith in Trump is compelling, but for skeptics, it's going to take more than rhetoric to believe the next 4 years will deliver the transformation he promises. The stakes couldn't be higher and the world is watching, and I'm personally excited to see how the next 4 years go. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of the points made here, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and we will see you guys in the next one.